Hello and welcome back to the Liverpool Groove. Transfer deadline day, very, very exciting for Liverpool. Hasn't all been exactly what we wanted it to as the days progressed. Obviously, Isak pretty much done. Just waiting on the announcement for that. Should be. I mean, I was expecting an announcement at 9 for number 9. Hasn't happened, so we know it's done. He's not in the country anymore. He's left now. He's gone to join up with his national team. So we know that's done and dusted. So no issues there. Mark Gay, the way that's progressed is a little bit of a shambles, really, on Crystal Palace's part. I said it earlier today. I understand Oliver Glasner wanting to keep arguably his best player as captain. Why wouldn't he want to keep him around for as long as he can? But for him to effectively throw his toys out the pram, say I'm gonna walk away if he goes and things like that. It's robbed him of his dream move. He's been nothing but a consummate professional for the entirety of the transfer window. He's just acted in the right way. You know, there's been a lot of talk over the way Isak's acted, the way Wissa's acted. At the end of the day, they've got the moves. He hasn't. And it's all because he was the nice guy. So yeah, it's a shame for him more than it is anything else. Obviously, we haven't sold Joe Gomez. We've got 4 centre-backs there who are all a very good level. So we're not in a bad position in that sense. But obviously, it would have been really nice to get Gay over the line.
Yeah, it would have been. I think it's we're all at fault. I think Liverpool and Palace, we've tried to haggle that extra £5 million. We've been in talk with them for weeks and weeks. We've eventually put up the money they wanted, and it hasn't given them enough time to replace him. So from their point of view, we understand it a bit. You don't want to lose your best player, not a player of his quality, especially a captain, and not be able to replace them. So the fact that they signed a player, whether it be 19 or what, they've signed another centre half, so they've sort of accepted he's going. I think the manager has just threw his toys out the pram, and that's where the players like Isak and that, they've just got to do what you've got to do to get your move. Otherwise, you get stuck. So he's got to stay there another, 5 or 6 months or till next summer now, where, knowing he's being loyal and he's being professional, but his manager hasn't acted the same. So I think if I was him, I'd be down in tools now and saying, I'm not kicking a ball for you again. But he seems too good a lad and too professional to do that. But, the whole bottom line of this transfer window is, players who fucking act up and act the goat get the moves, and players who act professional get nothing and get shit on by the manager. So, more fooling.
Yeah, I've seen people mention the fact that we've left it this late and things like that, and we put a Crystal Palace knew what our offer was days and days ago. It was the offer that was agreed today was the same offer we put in the back end of last week. If they would have just accepted it then, obviously, yeah, could we have gone in a bit earlier in the window and secured it that way and paid a little bit more? Yeah, obviously we could have done, but at the same time, why would we? We're not going to pay what we feel is over the odds for a player who we can get at a cut price in January or for free next summer. So yeah, as I say, I'm more gutted for Gay than I am anything else. I think, as I say, for him, the way he's acted, I've just seen on Twitter there, he'd actually done his goodbye video and everything. Like the Palace YouTube and that social media were ready to put out the video to say thank you to him and all that. Like it was done. It's very, very fucking Nabil Fekir vibes. It's not fair on him more than anything. But like I say, we'll go in January. We'll bid then. I think the ball's probably a little bit more in our court then, because we can go in, and I'm not saying we should go in and lowball them, but at the same time we can go in and go, look, we'll give you 10, 12 million for them, and you've already pissed them off once this season. Are you willing to do it again and force the hand a little bit? So wait and see what happens. I think either way, your little Jedi's, what's he saying here? Palace going to lose him on a free in the summer or for a massively reduced fee in January. It's a win for us either way. At least 35 mil left of the Coutinho money. Yeah. Yeah, spot on, lad. I mean, that's it. As I think the ball is massively in our court now. Like you say, I do think he's that much of a professional, and he just comes across like a properly good fella that he won't down tools. He will still play to the best of his ability, and yeah, fair play to Palace because they still get a world class centre back for the next 3 months, maybe more. From we say it all the time on here now. Football clubs are businesses these days, and so from a business point of view, Steve Parish, I said it on Twitter before. He was in between a rock and a hard place. I feel because I think it was a case of let Gay go and you lose your best ever manager for the club as well, or you keep him and you don't get the £35 million that he's worth. If he had longer on his contract, we'd be looking at a massive fee for him, obviously. So it's a very difficult position for him as the owner. One he wouldn't have wanted, but he's obviously had to go with the best interests of the club overall, and I think the best interest in the club is keeping Oliver Glasner. They couldn't afford to let him go, I don't think.
I think he goes anyway in a couple of months. I think he ends up at Man United when they sack him. So I think it is a bit two-faced from him because, when an offer comes in for him, he'll be straight there. He'll be off when he gets a bigger move, and he's effectively blocked Mark Gay's big move, but only for the short term because we know, whether it pans out, whether we do go back in for him and we get him as easily as we think we will in January or the summer, or he moves on somewhere else. He will move, and I think he will hold a grudge. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's basically handed in his notice. They could have got 35 million for him now, plus add-ons, and he's handed his notice in, and he'll be in Aldi mode. And, he's not, I don't think, as professional as he is, I think when you've had that block and you've got to face a fella every day who's stopped your dream move, and give you an option to play Champions League football and go for league titles in this season, I think you just stand there and go, tosser. I don't got no interest in you. I don't really care what you've got to say. I think you've proven what type of person you are, that you're going to affect my dreams. And when the chance of your dreams are there to be made, you'll just jump ship. So we'll see how it all pans out. But hopefully we do go back in January and take a bit of a piss take bid. And if it doesn't pan out, then we go and get him in the summer for nothing. So hopefully we do get him. I didn't really think we were going to get him. Seen him playing last night and captaining the side. Seen the manager saying, we've got to keep him. And I understand that. And then I seen his goal and seen his reaction, his celebration at the end, and I thought, he's off. We're getting him. And then it's all come out today that it is happening. But, it's one of them. If the shoe was on the other foot and we were having to lose, and say for Van Dijk, for instance, for little money, or do we keep him for the rest of the season and see if we can go on to do bigger and better things, then I'd want to keep him myself. So it's a bit hypocritical, but hopefully we just get our man in the end, and hopefully he's not too disheartened, and he looks at the big picture and goes, right, I'll be there in January. Nice little Christmas present for the Reds, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. Again, your little Jedi saying missing out on Europa League has already had an impact on the finances. 35 mil for a club like Palace in the position they're in would have been massive in the grand scheme of things for them. Yeah, I agree. I think obviously if they would have stayed in the Europa League, that makes it easier to keep Gay for them at that point. I think when they got demoted, we should have tried to force the hand a little bit. I think it was not good of us. That sounds a bit like, a bit big-headed on our part, but I think it was the right thing for him to stay with them while he made sure they qualified for the league phase of the Conference League and things like that. I say just everything about him, he's just done it right, and it's just a shame for him. But look, let's not dwell on Gay, because overall the transfer window has been a remarkable success, including what's still to come. At the time, right now, it's still not officially confirmed. I don't believe that Isak is a Liverpool player. As I say, he's left the country. He's gone on international duty now. So obviously everything's done. He's being pictured in a Liverpool shirt. So the announcements must be getting put together, must be getting edited or something. I don't know. But it's done. And as I say, the window as a whole has been a resounding success. The players that we've brought in, is this it? No, it's not. I've still got Sky Sports News on, and to the left of me, so I'm going to keep looking at it. Sorry. Yeah, it's been a resounding success. You look at the players we brought in. Frimpong, Kirkes, Wirtz, Ekitike, Leone, even the keepers, Mamadashvili, Pesci, who's meant to be an absolutely a superstar in waiting in the next few years. Obviously, Freddie Woodman as your sort of third choice keeper. When other clubs are going out and getting like 37, 38-year-olds, we're getting a keeper in as right in the middle of his prime to come and be third, fourth choice for us. It's like it's a deal that you don't really see. But yeah, as a whole, the window has just been beyond our wildest dreams, beyond what we've come to expect from FSG. I don't think anybody thought FSG had a window like this in them. I think we thought our limit would be a window like a few years ago. I mentioned it on Twitter today. George the German, as I christened him at the time, is one summer window where he brought in Szoboszlai, McAllister, Gravenberch and Endo. We thought that was as good as it was going to get it under FSG, and they've surprised everybody this window. I said earlier, Richard Hughes and Edwards, they deserve a lot of praise. They deserve apologies, and yeah, they've done a fantastic job this summer.
And so the FSG lad, they deserve apologies and thankfulness, because I've said before, I think they're all in or they're all out. I think they want to go big or go home sort of thing. They don't want to just go and get one player or two. They want to go out and do it. I think we've seen that with like Alisson, Van Dijk and Salah over a short period of time. Went and got them three in. And they do sort of, they rebuild like completely. It's not like they don't freshen up and add little bits in it. They completely overhaul and rebuild. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't look the best way, but we've seen, we've won everything under their leadership and under their ownership. So, you know, the sustainable model they've got, the ground they've built us, the training facilities we've got, the money they put into the community and all that, it all adds up, lads. And, you know, we've had a pandemic in between where the club's made no money, and we still end up in the green. We still end up with profits, and we always complain that they're not spending it on the right thing. You know, the be all and end all for us is the money goes into the playing staff on the pitch, and they've done it. They've done it remarkably, and like these are the stuff you see other clubs do. And the deadline days we've been involved in on the wrong side, where you lose players like Torres and that, and it's great to see Isak putting 2 fingers up to Newcastle and joining us. Like, I'm fucking made up. Didn't think that was going to happen. I thought it was too big a signing with too much hostility, the way it's been, you know, carried out and how we've gone about it. I think behind the scenes, I think Arne Slot and Eddie Howe have known what was going to happen. I think it's been a bit of theatre, and you know, they've made it. My dad just said to me before, it's like they want viewers, don't they? I think they've known that the Gay deal was off, and I think they've known Isak was signed, but they sort of reel you in to get you watching, and soft cunts like you are still watching it now.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's what it's all about, and we're never involved in it. So to be involved today, you know, we've got one over the line, and one has just fell at the last hurdle, but we'll get him eventually. It's just great to see us doing it the right way. And when you look at what we've spent to, you know, what we've made, we've still only spent about 200 odd mil, which makes us not the highest spenders in the league, which is absolutely mad. We spent about 500 mil. It's class.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? I think we've behaved like defending champions this summer. I think the last time, I think we obviously brought in Jota and we brought in Tsimikas and I think Thiago that summer. I was like, they're good moves. Jota, I think especially at the time, was one we were all absolutely buzzing with, as well as Thiago, but obviously his injury record kind of didn't really help him. But I think as a whole, this is what we should have done that window as well. We should have been having a window similar to this. And I think they've learned from the mistakes that window and not going out and strengthening in multiple positions. Obviously, we couldn't really envision the Van Dijk injury happening at that time, but you know, you preempt them by bringing someone in anyway. There might not have been anyone available. Don't get me wrong, I understand that, but yeah, we've behaved like defending champions, and I think FSG, they're smarter than they get given credit for. I mean, Little Jedi here again, he's just said, however frustrated we've been, the way Dave ran the club has enabled us to spend what we have done without it having any impact whatsoever on FFP. we'll never be under scrutiny like City or Chelsea, and that's the be all and end all of it. Is the very, very astute businessmen, like, as I say it again, football clubs are businesses to these people. That's all they care about. But they're able to look at the way English football is at the minute, and they can see an opening. They can see that there's something ready for us to just go and take over and have a period of dominance. I think it's now the right time. And so they've gone, right, yeah, we want to make sure we have that period of dominance. We're going to go and spend 400 million in one summer because we can, because of the way we've ran the business anyway, the club anyway. But like, because again, there's that window there for us to go on and dominate. City are still looking, and I said it last week, City are still looking how they did last season. You know, 1 win out of 3 so far. Arsenal are going to be our closest rivals again. Spurs have still got that Spursiness in them. Chelsea, probably Arsenal and Chelsea, but I think Chelsea will fall off halfway through the season because of the Club World Cup and all stuff like that. So I do still think it'll be us and Arsenal, but I think we showed yesterday, and obviously we will come on to that, but I think we showed yesterday that it doesn't really matter how much sort of pressure other teams put on us. We just take it all in, and like, I don't think they ever really troubled us yesterday. Like, they had a lot of the ball, but they never done anything to trouble us. They had one shot on target all game, and then as soon as we decided, right, it's our turn, it was a foregone conclusion as far as I'm concerned. I knew we were going to win somehow. Although, to be fair, as it got towards the time we did score, I didn't think it was going to happen as much. But yeah, it was a perfect game plan from us in the end. I thought the first half was woeful. Just as a football match in general, I don't think it was a very good first half from either team. But as I say, second half, I thought we were much better. Some of the players really coming into their own that second half. Yeah, I was happy with it in the end.
I don't know what bit to respond to. You just hit me with about 10 things. I'll just talk about Arsenal. Yeah, first half was not what I want to see at Anfield. Not letting the opponent have all the ball, but again, when they're not, you know, it's like letting someone jab your gloves. We were just letting them kept jabbing our gloves, and we just kept weren't landing, weren't doing anything. Let them waste their energy, let them waste their time. Boring way to play footy. Horrendous first half, not remotely enjoyable, but you know, it results in us winning the game. They played for a draw. They were quite happy with a 0-0 and trying to nick it off a set piece, and it just so happens we ended up nicking it off a set piece. I think the second half we deserved to win the game. I don't think they deserved to be 1-0 up at half time because they were the better team in the first half, but without hurting us. Second half, I thought we were a well better team. I thought in every duel and every battle we had, I thought we were better. I thought Kanate had a good game considering the last few games he's had. I thought he looked solid. Kirkes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant from him. Szoboszlai at right back is just impressing me more and more. He's just, as I said, I think I said it last time, he's like your Jordan Henderson, he's like your Steven Gerrard. You can put him anywhere and you can see that you need him in that team. We missed him in the middle of the park in the first half again, and then we sort of utilised him in the second half a bit more. Curtis Jones coming on changed the game for us in our favour. We were a bit more, you know, forward thinking then. Thought it was a brilliant second half, poor game of footy overall, but we were the better team, and you know, I think another yard or two and we're 1-0 up, aren't we? With Ekitike. So yeah, it was one of them. They come to ball, they come to try and sneak a 1-0, but play very defensively. And you know, when you've got Peter Schmeichel saying he wants Liverpool to win the game because they're that bad, you know, something's up because he can't stand us either. So yeah, I think we had to win at Anfield. I think based on the performance, you probably take a draw, but I think we deserved the win. So it was made up to get it in that fashion. And when he put that ball down, I was like, this is where he hits them for Hungary. And then I seen loads of people posting saying, who said that? And I said to me, dad, like, there's like a meme going around the same free kick over and over and over again. I think he's only scored the one, but we all think the same. He can hit it from anywhere. Fucking hell, he can.
Yeah, it's mad. Like, when he put the ball down, my half fella went, who's going to take this? We haven't got any free kick takers anymore. I went, Szoboszlai's all right. He can hit them like, and then fucking hell could he hit them? Yeah, I don't know where I went with that. Fucker, I did go off on a bit of a mad tangent there. I done a bit of a U. Gave you 14 points at once. Yeah, no,
I just forgot what you were on about.
I'm not even sure I followed it along, to be honest. No, it was, yeah. I mean, Szoboszlai at right back, as your little Jedi said, their best right back in the club's history. But I mean, right now, I mean, like there is an argument for him being the best right back on the planet, and he's a fucking centre mid. Playing his second game at right back, he was outstanding. He was absolutely brilliant. To show a highlight on Match of the Day, and we've been attacking. He's ran from right back right up the pitch into their box. The ball's got cleared and he hasn't stopped his run. He's just looped it and gone right back, ran full 200 yards in one go. Like he just never ever stops. And like I've said it a few times, I don't understand how there's people who don't rate him. He's absolutely phenomenal. He's such an intelligent footballer. He's just everything about him is he's everything you want a Liverpool player to be. He's technical. He doesn't give up. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He's phenomenal. He really, really is. And he goes under the radar a lot because, again, I said it. I don't know if we said it last time or a couple of weeks ago or so, but people have still got that vision of him being the Gerrard replacement and scoring 15, 20 goals a season. And he's shown that he's not going to be that for us. Yeah, he'll chip in and get maybe 10 a season, but he's not going to be that catalyst the way Gerrard is, but he's so invaluable to us the way we play at the minute. He was phenomenal. I thought Kerkez on the other side, I thought he was fantastic. The Arsenal fans are hyping up Madueke's game against them. He didn't beat him once. He was a bit faster than him. He didn't beat him once. He every time he looked like he beat him, he'd block the cross or he'd block the shot. He had him at every turn. Like it was a brilliant performance from Kerkez. It was the type of performance we've been waiting for from him and expecting him from his Bournemouth days. Like it was phenomenal from him. And then you talk about the likes of your Van Dijks who puts in these performances week in week out, and you don't even realise how good the performances are anymore because it's just the norm for him. The whole defence actually was fantastic. Kanate. Again, we're probably going to come across a bit like hypocrites a bit now because I thought Kanate was fantastic yesterday as well. He was the Kanate we've seen that he can be. He was imperious, for lack of a better word. He was fantastic. The pair of them, as I say, the whole defence, magnificent.
He's had his 3 games of dodginess and he'll have 5 games good now, hopefully. So that's just the way he is. His head switches off and you don't know what's been going on in his head with us looking at Mark Gay as well and thinking, is he coming in to fucking take my place? And, I think he's had to put himself at, fight a little bit and show us what he's capable of because we know he's a good defender. I've said many a time, on his day, he's unbelievable, but his day's not often enough. It's too inconsistent. But, you can only speak about what we've seen. And for the first 3 games of the season, he was shite. Not the first 2. And then he's had a great game against Arsenal. So, you can't knock him when he's playing well. You've got people who will stick on the fence and say, no, he's just shite, get rid. No, I'm not like that. You're not like that. When he plays well, gets the credit, and thought he was absolutely outstanding. Thought he was fantastic. Looked absolutely solid. Looked confident. Although he doesn't look confident in the face. Looks fucking terrified every time he's near the ball. But he's, great player on his day, and I thought he showed his quality against Arsenal, which is not easy to do. But yeah, I just think without even really getting going, we just look like we're going to find a way to win, and to find it in that manner is just boss. But I just love that it's like putting a needle in their inflatable. We just deflate them every time we come across them. It's fucking great. Their fans got that Blogsy going on about how they're going to batter us and he's dead confident in that, and just wish you could sit in a pub with them and say, just shut your fucking mouth, he's your own worst enemy. Worse than Everton. Hype themselves up to the point of devastation, and it's already looking the way the season's going to go already. They're going to be the shite in front of goal. They don't really create much. They're good in moments, like skipping past players and that, but they never really look dangerous. And He didn't against Man United either. So when you're saying they're going to be the big ones against us, I think there's going to be a shock. I think they could finish third or fourth myself. And I think the players and the fans are going to start losing a little bit of respect and hoping Arteta soon as well, because he just does the same things and he spends all this money and they still play the same negative way.
Yeah, no, they do, absolutely. I don't think the signings they've made this summer are going to help them much. I think Carragher said it. They don't create chances. It's all well and good bringing a striker in. Yeah, it's all well and good bringing a striker in, but you've got to create chances for them. The announcement's going to be very soon anyway. I don't know if they're going to release it. We've released like a teaser one, you know, where the seats. Try and show you.
What's in it? It's exciting.
No, that's
mad because we know.
I don't know if you can, for everyone else who might be watching them on Society as well. going with the seats that we've been going with all summer, like. So yeah, it's imminent, as it says on the banner.
It's got the number 9 on.
So it has. Yeah, I didn't even clock that. Yeah, so there's that done. Welcome to Liverpool, Alexander Isak. Phenomenal signing. Exactly. How'd you choose between him and Ekitike, the way Ekitike started?
It's impossible, but again, like, we fucking moan. There's people saying already, like, it's our last, like, Ekitike, but there's going to be times when he can't play. There's going to be, we know what Isak's like, injury-wise. There's going to be times where they're both not available and we're going to need one of them. So if you'd have to put one out wide to play both of them, sound. Gakpo's been doing all right. So it's a lovely headache for our body managers as well. Like, it's a situation you dream to be in where you don't know who your best striker is and you don't know who your best wideman is, and you've got to upset a few people to play your best team. But that's what we've needed, lad. We've needed that depth of going, fucking hell, if he comes off, he comes on, and what a signing and what a forward line we've got now. And I know people are saying, like, we're a little bit weaker in sense of numbers and all that. We've lost an absolute superstar and a fucking unbelievable footballer in Diogo Jota, and a player you could rely on to come on and grab the game by the scruff of the neck and get you over the line and win games. Unfortunately, we have lost him. It's terrible circumstances. And we've lost Diaz, who I've said I know Diaz's numbers and that was sound last year, but I was bored of watching Diaz do the same thing and beat a man, go the corner flag instead of cutting in towards the goal. And you just can't stop looking at your phone now, can you, Belland?
He's announced. Because I'm seeing the comments from your little Jedi as well, so I'll put it over there. I'll put it out the way.
Yeah, I think just the players we've lost, the likes of Diaz and that, I was getting a little bit frustrated with. I think he was like Coutinho on his day, unplayable, but his day weren't enough for me. And he did chip in with a few goals here and there, and he'll look absolutely awesome in that league. But I think you could see by Liverpool's, fucking response to it was, we're quite happy to cash in on him, and we were never going to offer him a bigger contract because we didn't deem him worthy. So I think we have lost a few players, but we've added unbelievable players, and we've took a punt on the likes of Ekitike and that, and Kirkes, who aren't 100% ready-made, and we've gone out and we've believed in them, and our squad on paper now just looks absolutely arse on the rest of the league. It's just the way it is, and it's nice to be the fucking bully in the league for once. The team that just goes, we're having him, and you can throw your fucking toys out the pram, you magpie bastards, but he's ours now.
Yeah, it is. As you know, we talk about obviously us being a big club in the biggest England, and a lot of times we don't act like it in the transfer market. And this summer we've just gone, fuck us all. We're speaking to who we want to speak to, and we're making sure that they only want to join Liverpool. And yeah, they have. What you're saying, it's been a long journey to get here, but I'm super happy to be a part of this team, the club, and everything it stands for. Something I'm proud of, and I'm really looking forward to it. And then you reading that Sky, fuck off. yeah, look, he's here, he's ours, and I can't wait to see him in action in a red shirt because he's absolutely fucking bullied us every time we played them. So, similar to what I said about Benteke years and years ago, I'd sign him just so we didn't have to play against them again.
He's the only player who's really proper give us a fucking torrid time where him and Beto's the only one who's made Van Dijk look fucking stupid at times, and he's fucking crap. But players who just play with that belief, even Haaland, like when we're up against Haaland, I don't fucking bat an eyelid. Just like we've got this sound. Isak just destroys us when he plays us, and as you say, it's like it's worth getting him just get him, put him on the bench so he doesn't have to play us again because he kills us. And the quality of goals, it's that type of goal he scores where you can only just fucking clap at yourself and go, "What a goal! Fair play, lad."
Yeah, I mean, he has that one at St James's last season where he's took it, he's knocked it past Van Dijk and he's just fucking hit it from outside the box. Absolutely no chance. It's just that he's the type of, it's every day to him. It's bread and butter. Like you can't teach to what he's got. You can't learn how to be as good as him. You just are that good. And it's been a long time since we've had a striker, an out and out striker like that, who you just know, like he's got the ability and he could quite easily score 25, 30 goals this season for us in the league alone. It's just a great sign. And your little Jedi's put the rest of the comments in the chat for us. So I feel amazing. It's been a long journey to get here, but I'm super happy to be a part of this team, this club, and everything it stands for. It's something I'm very proud of, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm just happy it's done and that I can get back to work. I'm looking forward to seeing my teammates and the fans.
Has he not said Ant Decker a pair of cunts? No, nothing like that.
No, that'll probably come in his private statement that he releases when he says thank you to all the Newcastle players that he played with. I don't think he'll be thanking any fans anytime soon. But yeah, look, this is the deal we were all waiting for, the one we probably thought wasn't going to happen now. And then
couldn't happen on that. It just couldn't in a million years, like signing him. Bizarre. It's like we never sign ready-made world class. Like you get Ekitike in, then again, I mean, fucking hell, we've got Virtus ref. We are horrible. It's fantastic. But yet we don't really sign. I know Virtus world class, but he's finding a little bit hard to adjust to the league. It's not like, you know, I've got no doubt about it that he is gonna like run rings around midfielders. We need to play him a little bit more forward, but he's ready-made striker from the league. Like we've seen him do it against us. We've seen him do it in the Premier League, and he's the best striker possibly in the league. Him or Haaland, both different kettles of fish in terms of how they play. But just it's remarkable. You never think you're going to get these type of signings, lad. And the fact that we've done it on deadline day as well is just sick.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it makes up for all these deadline day signings over the years. You know, when you're bringing in fucking I've seen them all today. Charlie Adam, Paul Konchesky. Don't think they were all deadline day necessarily, but obviously Andy Carroll. I'll forever love Big Andy for his derby goals. Like, but as coming in to be the Liverpool number 9, he just wasn't it, was he?
Well, he wasn't because he replaced Torres, which is just like fucking hell. It's like swapping fucking cheese on toast for fish cake.
What?
I'm starving. I'm
cheese on toast for fish cake. Fucking hell. That's the type of analysis you can come to expect from us on a weekly basis, everybody.
I was thinking lamb and tuna fish because of Big Daddy, but I couldn't bring myself to say it. No, it is. No, but when you're losing players like that, now, I've just seen them on Sky Sports before saying, like, he's bringing Wissa and that big Voldemort fella in better than having Isak. And he's like, yeah, that's a better squad. And like, come on, be serious. You know what I mean? You've got Wissa, who's done all right in the league, not a fucking superstar. And you've got Voldemort, very high ceiling, literally massive potential, but hasn't kicked the ball in our league, so he's going to take a little bit of time to adjust. And he playing for a team of yard dogs when he's played footy. before. So there's nowhere near. It's like losing your best player, possibly their best player since Shearer, to someone else in the league is absolutely soul destroying. So I'm just made up it's to us. Because I'd have been the same. If that would have been the signing to Arsenal, I'd have been like, there's their fucking massive opportunity to strike now. Because that's what they're lacking. They're lacking a fucking goal scorer. And we've gone and added 2.
Yeah, it's just, as I mentioned at the start, it's just been a fantastic window for us. The only other sort of thing to talk about for deadline day is obviously an outgoing, and I think one that the majority of the fan base are gutted over. Harvey Elliott, again, not being confirmed as of yet, but going to Villa on loan with an obligation to buy. I'd rather it be an option rather than an obligation, because that means he's definitely gone next summer. But yeah, firstly, gutted to see him go. I think everybody loves him, knows his quality. We've seen how he can come on and change a game many, many times. And he absolutely adores playing for Liverpool. It's been his sole reason for becoming a footballer was to play for Liverpool Football Club. And he's achieved his dream and he's won, the biggest prize in England that he can. And it's a shame to see him go. I think it's a bigger shame to see him go for 35 million because he's worth a hell of a lot more than that. When you look at Everton signing Tyler Diblin, don't get me wrong, good player, got a very, very high ceiling, but he's not worth more than Harvey Elliott. Not in a million years. Harvey Elliott should be going for 50, 60 million, in all honesty. He's that good. So I think 35 million, it kind of feels like we've gone, thanks for all your efforts. Sorry, we couldn't make it work here. So to not scupper your move, we'll let you go a bit for less than you're worth, so that you do get your move, you do get the playing time you deserve. It kind of feels a little bit like that.
Yeah, I am gutted, lad. I love him. He's one of my favourite players. I think he reminds us of us if we were playing. I think he has that connection with the fans that he's one of us. I think no matter whether it's a tackle or a fucking cross or winning the ball back or fucking shooting, he has that pride with his heart on his sleeve. We've seen him slide in and win the ball when he's come on and cheer to the crowd and that. And we'll miss that. I think the quality he's got, I think he really, really has been hard done by Arne Slot. I think he could have played more minutes. I don't think it's necessarily because he's not judged as quality. It's just fitting him into that team. That team's full of superstars and he's still only 22. And, he needs full games now. He needs to be playing every week in, week out at the top level. And he'll be doing that for Villa, hopefully. I'd like to read that there's some sort of buyback clause or first dibs on him or something if he gets to 25 and he's absolutely smashing it. And I hope he is. I really do. He's one of them players you've seen knuckle down, and he's 22, 23 lad, and he's still a fucking kid. You know what I mean? We still look at Curtis Jones as a young Liverpool player and he's about 27. You know what I mean? You just see this lad give absolutely everything every time he's played, and he's never spat his tummy out. He should have been playing a little bit more, I think. He's been coming as a right forward and he's ended up playing a centre mid role. Again, he's never kicked up a fuss. He just wants to play minutes for us. He's accepted that, that weren't going to happen much this season. And he's had to make the move, and I think it would have absolutely tore his heart out to have to be the one to make the decision. But we've seen with our manager, he's just brutal. I don't think he holds any punches. I think he's being honest with him. You're not going to play often. Might play the odd Champions League game if we're, progressed, and a few League Cup games and FA Cup games and that. But I think we've lost a quality squad player and a boss lad. So I'm devastated.
Yeah, and I second those sentiments. Wish him all the best. I hope he absolutely smashes it. And yeah, hopefully he does. I don't know. I think he goes there with a bit of a point to prove to Arne Slot that he could have made himself part of the team and he could have had a big impact. And I think he will go there and smash it. I know they got battered last night, but they play good football. They got a good manager. They've got very good players. I think he goes in and fits in quite well there. So yeah, good move for him. gutted to see him go. And yeah, it's a shame really the way it's gone with him, because I think obviously if Jurgen's still here, he's still a massive part of the team. But I think as it's been said many times, that's probably Jurgen. That was Jurgen's one sort of downfall, was his overriding loyalty to players, and Slot just hasn't seen it that way, and that's his job as manager. If he doesn't think that someone's the right fit for the team, he's not afraid to go and go, no, sorry, not for you. We'll see what we can do and get you out of here, basically. And he's had to do that. So just one of them in a part of the game. But yeah, gutted to see him go. You mentioned your little Jedi's just there, just explaining to his bed why he's just ordered the 26-foot Sweden flag. You mentioned Curtis Jones. You mentioned him before as well, and how he changed the game yesterday. I think we mentioned it last week. Somebody who doesn't get the credit he deserves ever. He's somebody who's looked at because he's in the squad, because he's a Scouser, because he's a local lad. And I just don't understand that opinion of him. But yeah, yesterday I think he come on. He gave us a calmness that we didn't have. He was neat and tidy in everything he done. He made sure we kept the ball. He made sure we were moving forward, and it was exactly the type of performance we needed from him. We don't get over the line without him.
Yeah, I agree, lads. And as we've said before, it's just like it's Tivvies who's never been near Anfield who say he's shite. They've got no love for Liverpool as a city or a club. That's just the thing to latch onto. And you can have your opinion about players, but ridicule a player because he's local and suggest that he's only in the team because he's a Scouser is fucking brain dead. He's in the team because he's good enough to be in the team. And I've seen people saying because Elliott's gone, we could have done with more centre mids, but we've got loads of centre mids. That's the reason Elliott's gone, because in the pecking order. And I think, I heard on another podcast that it was between Jones and Harvey Elliott, like a head-to-head for that spot, and who's going to be coming on to play for Liverpool in the later stages of games and stuff, and it's gone to Jones. And I think if you were going to put, your hat on who was the best player out of the two, Jones just edges it as a complete midfielder. I don't think our manager sees him as like Harvey Elliott as a right winger, but you can 100% see Jones as a centre mid, and he's the same as Szoboszlai a little bit. I think he plays right back. You could play him right back. You could play him centre mid. You could play him as a 10 if you had to. You can play him out wide. He's versatile, and he's just keen to be on that pitch. So, if you tell him he's playing left back, he'd fucking play there because he wants to play for Liverpool. But yeah, he's grown into it now, and I think he's realising a little bit that he's getting a bit more confident in himself, and that he can be the one to come on and change games and be the one to calm everyone down and have a word with key players and say, listen, this is what we need to be doing. And you can see him doing that. He's sort of leading from the midfield, and it's boss to see. It's always nice to see a local lad doing it, but when they're doing it well and not just because they're local, it's fucking great.
Yeah, 100% agree. If that was the case about it being between Jones and Elliott, I can sort of see the argument for Jones over Elliott, because, like you say, he is seen as more. Obviously, he's a centre mid by trade. Harvey Elliott's a right winger, and I think keeping him and Chiesa along with Salah, trying to get them all game time in the preferred position, it's just not going to work. And I think Chiesa's obviously worked really hard over the summer to prove that he wants to be here. He's fought for his place. And it's paying off so far, because again, he's come on every game so far and looked really good. So it's going well for him. But yeah, Jones is again, we said it last time, he's a 7 out of 10 every single week. He never lets you down. And yeah, he's in the team on merit. Klopp brings him into the team. Slot kept him in the team. That doesn't just happen because he's Scouse. That happens because he's a very good footballer, and he deserves to be playing for Liverpool Football Club. Another man, sorry to backtrack again because I wanted to bring him up before, but I don't know, we started speaking about something else. Wirtz, we mentioned him again, hasn't really started his career at Liverpool quite how we would envision him, but I thought, second half against Arsenal, once he did get into the game, once he actually got up to the speed of the game, and he kind of made it all slow down for himself. But I thought second half he was excellent. I thought he was very, very good. He was, he was winning the ball. He wasn't like shitting out the tackles or nothing like that. He was beating players. He was playing nice passes out wide and into others and things like that. And I thought second half, I thought he was very good. And I think he proved how hard he worked because of the cramp. Thankfully, it is only cramp. But as Arne Slot said, that's his welcome to the Premier League. I think he's shown enough glimpses in that game to show that he's not gonna flop whatsoever. He just needs to take a little bit of time, and that was the first glimpse of it.
Yeah, that's all it takes, lad. It's getting up to the speed of the game. I don't think in any other league everyone's sprinting around after you. Like it's more composed and it is more like, we'll pressure in dangerous areas. But in our league, you've just got someone chasing your fucking tail all the way through the game. That's why in our games there's so much more running and all that. Thought on the ball again, he's like, the only way you could describe him is like Thiago. He's got that elegance and that class about him where no matter how he passes the ball, it just looks special. Not necessarily is. It could be a 5-yard ball, but he just, his demeanour when he passes, he just looks better than everyone else. He stands out in the middle of the park. You can tell it's him in the way he moves and the way he passes. And he's got so much confidence in him, in his own ability, the way he just glides past players and stuff like that. But yeah, he's probably playing a game now. He's gone from like a proper out-and-out number 10 and, getting the ball in the midfield and driving towards them to almost, at times, he sits in the fucking 6 and he's sat defending for us. And, it's a hard thing to grasp, and you're playing against more physical players and players who aren't scared to throw a foot in and get booked and shit. So, yeah, it is a massive welcome to the Premier League. He's already played against some of the best midfielders in the league. Elder's own. He took a good whack against Newcastle. He got up, he played. He didn't hide. Never played well, but I thought out of all the midfielders against Arsenal, he looked the best. I think he stood out a mile from both teams. And again, he's just going to get better and better and better, and he's going to grow with confidence. And some people judge, all you can judge football on is based on goals and assists, and that's it. And I used to say this about Thiago, because if you based him on goals and assists, he was the worst player that's ever played footy. So he hardly got any. But he set up the whole passage of play to go on to score, from his own half and his vision and everything. So I think that's where he's going to be at. Goals will come, assists will come, especially now with the 2 strikers we've bought. It's going to happen 100%. I've got no doubt about it. The only concern is, when all the midfielders are back and we've got the strikers all in, I think you're going to see rotation. You're going to see him on the left sometimes, in the 10 sometimes. I just don't know what our plan is. So you go 4-2-3-1 and have like Gravenberch with McAllister, keep Szoboszlai right back, and then you have Gakpo, Wirtz and Salah behind Isak or Ekitike. It's footy manager dreamy. It's scary. I want to go and buy them all on FIFA now, but I'm going to wait till the new one's out.
No, it is. It's as you said before, it's a nice headache for Arne Slot to have. Someone on Sky today was saying it's a good headache to have at the beginning, but as the season progresses, it becomes a worse headache because you can't play them all at the same time. But I don't think it'll get to that. I think we've got enough competitions, we've got enough games to play where everybody can rotate and play enough games. So I'm not worried. I'm buzzing overall. I just think I said before, we've never really, certainly not in our lifetime, we've never really seen a window like this from us where we're spending the amount we are on the type of players we are. We've, like you say, we've never really, in all the time I can remember, gone out and just bought world-class players. I think the only one that, and older listeners and watchers might be able to attest to this, but the only one that comes close that I can think of would be 87, when you get Aldridge, Barnes and Beardsley in one window, you know what I mean? It's like, that's the level of window we've had here this summer, and it's certainly one of the best the Premier League as a whole has ever seen. And yeah, it's just, it makes you excited for the rest of the season. Like, I'm absolutely fucking devastated there's an international break coming up now, because it's not what you want at this time. You just want to see all these players in a Liverpool shirt at Anfield, fucking just battering everybody. Like but it's something to look forward to now, innit? Yeah, it's been a dream.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable window, and as you say, when you're looking at like some of the names going past the bottom there, and it's just fucking mad. Like that's our team, that's our squad, bar and Mark Gay. But it's what you hope for going into the transfer window. You know, we had an unbelievable start. We signed all these players dead early, and again, you then only want Liverpool, only want Liverpool, only want Liverpool, and you're just like sack cocky as fuck going. They all want to play for us. They all believe in the manager. They all believe in the setup and what we want to achieve. And I do think we go on to achieve great things over the next fucking 5 years together. Again, we've got to, every time we go into a summer, we've got to freshen up a little bit, add a player here and there, and we'll lose players here and there. But, you know, I'm thinking of like, you've got Isak and Ekitike there. One's 22, one's like 25, 26. When Isak's coming to the end of his career, Ekitike will be in his prime, and then we'll have someone coming in to be his understudy. It's just bizarre. Like, it's just class. I just hope it goes as we plan. But talking about Ekitike the other day and the impression he's made on us, and seeing him with his long Adidas sleeves, and people were saying like it just reminds us of Torres. He's just got that thing about him. So to go and add someone who's meant to be 10 times better than him to the strike force is just fucking ludicrous. It's mad. Fucking crazy.
It's just, yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? And as your little Jedi said there, Slot's going to get "You'll Never Walk Alone" tattooed on his Swede.
On his Swede? Is that either? Oh, is that?
Both. Yeah, no, that's what's been nice about this window for me, is seeing everybody come in and go, I only wanted Liverpool. You know, how many teams can go to the biggest talent Germany have got that isn't playing for Bayern Munich, knowing Bayern Munich won him, and for him to go, yeah, nah, I'm going to Liverpool, fuck off, I'm not going to Bayern Munich. Like, it's unheard of. It's like going to a Spanish team, knowing that Real Madrid want a player, and then him going, no, fuck off Real Madrid, I'm going to Liverpool. That's it. That's all I want. It doesn't happen. And so for us to go out and do that with Wirtz is just unbelievable. We've little broed Newcastle, as the saying goes, with and then Isak. In the end, I know it's horrible. I felt horrible saying that, but it's the only thing that fit. Yeah, no, it's just, again, we've acted like the fucking top dogs this summer. We've acted like the biggest club in the country, and we've proved that we are. You know, United are always going to have that. You've always got that sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? They've always got that pull in the bank because they've had the success during the biggest boom in televised football, so everybody got to see it.
But don't get me wrong, though. I don't think they've got that pull anymore. They've signed a few really good players that could have went to probably better teams, and it's that little bit of pull. But I don't think they're getting nowhere. I don't think they're not going to be signing anyone world class. They're just not.
No, they're not.
What are you laughing at now?
Another comment from your little Jedi, obviously. He said, because we are Quiddy, if every club in the country had the cock, ours would be the massive. No.
The likes of United's and that, you know, I think what you've got to look at, the way they run, and the reason why they're fucking struggling, and they're fucking turning all the lights off in the stadium and that, because they're skint, sacking dinner ladies and that, is because the contracts they give players, like Casemiro's, are like 400 grand, isn't he? It's fucking stupid. I don't think that's not our pull. And that's where Man City started off with, we can pay you the most, we can pay you the most, we can do this, we can do that. We're going in with our balls out, going, we're the fucking champions. We're the best team in the country. And if you want to play for us, you know, we've got the best fans, we've got one of the best stadiums, the draw of the crowd and all that. You can play in the Champions League. You've got a chance to win the European Cup, play in front of the Cup. That's our pull. look at all them trophies we've won in the past. Look at the trophies we've won recently. Is 200 grand a week, and that's the difference. We're not fucking putting a load of cash, like, but we're not dangling a fucking briefcase on the end of the fish. I'm not saying, sign for us. This is what we can offer you. We've got all the other stuff, and that's the difference with us. That's why everyone wants to play for Liverpool, and that's why we end up succeeding, because you don't have money motivated players. And that's the best thing about us, is we end up with a boss group of lads, and you can see the connection in the team, how they're all together. Don't get me wrong, they're all earning fucking mega bucks, but you'll see with I think you'll have Man City and Man United players earning more than the lads we've just signed, and that's a testament to the way we do our business.
Yeah, no, that's United. They've got players that any other club in 15th, who finished 15th last season, wouldn't have been able to sign them, and that's where they'll always differ in that sense. But like you say, we get players who aren't motivated by the money. You know, I think all of the players we've got this summer could have went to other teams and got more money, but they won't get any opportunity like they will to play for Liverpool, other than you're looking at the likes of your Real Madrids, and I wouldn't even say your Barcelona's. It's like Real Madrid. That's about it. I said it a few weeks ago. That's where we are at the moment. That's our level at this moment in time, is competing with Real Madrid. So yeah, look, it's been phenomenal. We've got a very, very exciting season to look forward to now. I'd say it's a shame we've got to wait a couple of weeks for another game. But Burnley away, their tails will be up a little bit. I think all three promoted clubs have started well for once, which is a nice change. So their tails will be up a little bit because they're not playing bad. They got robbed by United at the weekend. And so, yeah, it's going to be a spectacle. Getting Isak on there. I don't think he starts against Burnley. I think he's got to obviously get up to speed. You know, he hasn't had a pre-season, so it's going to be difficult for him to start.
He's had a pre-season, just not he hasn't played. He's been in training. He's trained, and again, he knows the league, lad. He's a type of player you can bring on for 5 minutes and expect a goal. But again, it'd be a bit of a travesty to take Ekitike out the side at the minute. So I think you are looking at, you know, he comes on. I think it is a headache already, because I really, really, really like Ekitike. So it's just the power we've got to bring on off the bench now. The difference in that is just class.
It's horrible, isn't it?
It's enjoyable. Imagine being Burnley, lad, and we bring Isak on for half an hour after you've been up against Ekitike and fucking weights, and it's fucking mad, lad. Sounds hard. It's what Man City have been able to do for years when they're taking superstars off and bringing on players who could potentially even be better. And I'm not saying like our players aren't superstars yet. Some of them, the new lads, but Isak's one of the best strikers on the planet. And I'm boasting about Ekitike because I think he's had a brilliant start to his Liverpool career. I just love the way he plays. I love watching him. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, lad, to see where we go with it.
Yeah. As your little Jedi said there, it's a Kelleher-Alisson situation all over again, where one is doing well enough that you shouldn't be dropping them, but then the other one is Alisson, or in this case, Isak. It's like, it's a good headache to have. As I say, I think a couple of games, I think we'll still see Ekitike starting, Isak coming on around 60 minutes, get a good half an hour run out and that. You know, his first home game in the league is the derby. Do you start him there and let him run riot? Yeah, it's exciting. It's an exciting time. I'm glad.
I'm just feeling that he's going to go for Sheridan.
See, no, that shouldn't be allowed though. Like that seems unfair.
I know, but at this, I just don't know how you can leave them out.
I know.
It's fucking outrageous.
It's Liverpool. That's what it is. Yeah, what an exciting time. What a fucking absolutely sensational time to be a Liverpool fan. But look, we're going to wrap it up there because we probably already went over a bit longer than we wanted to, especially because Jay's only just got in from work about an hour ago. So he's jumped straight on. So Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I agree, Little Jedi. It would be nice to do a few more lives every now and again. Not make it a regular thing, so it does seem like a bit of an occasion. So maybe for the bigger games, we'll do one live and stuff like that. And he said he's still got your flag there. You can have it back if you want.
Nice. Lad, you
But
can
yeah,
have it.
I say,
Memories of Tottenham.
yeah, I say, going to wrap it up there. Thanks everybody for watching along with us. The audio, I'll get that out on. Well, I'll get that out as soon as I can. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. Really appreciate everybody, and you Little Jedi, as always. Thanks very much for commenting and engaging with us. But yeah, until next time, up Alexander Isak Reds.
Not even saying it. The Reds.